Nights at Freddy's is one of the biggest, hypest, and most intriguing games of all time. From the animatronics, to the lore, to the gameplay, FNAF has completely taken over the world, baby! And almost 9 years after Freddy and his friends first jump scared us, the FNAF hype train ain't slowing down, baby! So let's go all the way back to the start and have a look at what really made FNAF so special. The insane teasers!
Hello? Well, if you're hearing this, then...
like and subscribe! Hey, yo, I hope you're ready for a history lesson on a trip down nostalgia lane, because going back to the very first Five Nights at Freddy's teaser image is just gonna be a happy and sad moment at the same time. It's been a wonderful 9 years! Let me know down in the comment section below, because I don't know when everybody joined the FNAF community. Did you start with Security Breach, or maybe you started way back in 2014 with the very first FNAF game? But if you weren't here from the very beginning, some of these teaser images that appeared on scottgames.com were so huge, they broke the internet. Literally, people would sit on scottgames.com refreshing the page to find new teaser images. That's how hype FNAF was. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's look at all the teaser images. Let's remember them together and refresh our memory for Security Breach Ruin, which is coming out in like a couple of weeks potentially. So hey, if you're hyped, smash like and let me know when you join the community. I'm excited for Ruin, baby. So yeah, the only Five Nights at Freddy's 1 promotional material we had was just the first trailer, which the first trailer is amazing. It's a classic at this point. However, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 onwards is when Scott Cawthon really started to dabble in the teasers, and boy, were we treated good. See when this teaser first dropped. Everybody lost it because we didn't even know there was going to be Five Nights at Freddy's 2. At this point, when this teaser dropped, everyone was going insane. We were like, why has Bonnie lost his face? Who's this new Bonnie? Who is this imposter that's just right here looking all fantastic in front of us? It was amazing. Something borrowed something new, and this teaser spawned on more and more, not copycats, but teasers that are based in the same sort of style, and that's when Scott got the idea that everybody loved these teaser images, that I should do more. Scott was a one-man promotional marketing mastermind because it got everybody talking about his game, it got everybody thinking, it got everybody interested in the lore of the games and what was going to be coming next. This is when people like Fusion and Pro Class Gamer were starting to make videos on the teasers, and that's what got me interested too. Next up, I'm pretty sure, was it a Foxy one? Yes, it was. Here we go. We got Foxy, and everybody was like, is this a girl Foxy? Who is this? But we already know at this point in time, because we've got the foresight, the hindsight of looking, that this was actually Mangle. It's amazing. We had a similar curtain to Pirate Cove, and you got Foxy peering out one side, and then you got Mangle over on the other side, but it looked like a toy version, a girl version of Foxy, and everybody started going crazy. Foxy was already everybody's favorite, but to bring another one into the mix... wow. I tell you what, Scott was really ambitious for his second Five Nights at Freddy's game, because the amount of animatronics that were in there was just insane. It was beautiful. I loved it. Hey, as we're looking through all these teaser images, I'm just getting more and more hyped for Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin, which comes out in a couple of weeks. So hey, to celebrate the release of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin, I'm going to be giving away some copies of the base game of Security Breach, because if you didn't already know, the DLC Ruin is actually free. However, you're gonna need the base game. So I've got a competition for you if you haven't got that game. So hey, if you would like to enter into the competition for a chance to win one of the free Security Breach copies I'm going to be giving away, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment down in the comment section below. Now, that comment could be absolutely anything. Why don't you go ahead and tell me when you joined the FNAF franchise, or maybe you want to tell me who your favorite animatronic is. Either way, any comment goes. Just subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment down in the comment section below. Good luck! And then the next teaser image dropped. I honestly, in my mind, don't remember this teaser image at all. I don't remember. I remember the next one, if I'm remembering correctly. But this one here, no place to run and exactly one place to hide. At this point, you can clearly see we're in some sort of mask. I think most people probably theorized at this point it was Freddy that we were inside. We didn't realize if this was going to be a head you were putting on, if you were already stuffed after the rumors of Five Nights at Freddy's 1. But we could clearly see this is a new gameplay mechanic. This is Scott teasing us about what we're going to be doing in the game, and instead of just closing doors, this was the point where we got to see, one, there's no doors in front of us. We could just clearly see Foxy in the hallway with his big old beautiful eyes, holding up his hook hand, and he's coming for them cheeks. He's a pirate, he's after the boat, you know what I'm saying? And we have got to hide. No doors this time, just hiding mechanics. It was just so clever. We can also see we've got some sort of flashlight because Foxy is brightened up in the background, and again we have got 2 down in the bottom. This was back in the time where we hadn't quite started brightening images. However, this next teaser, if I've got it correct, is when we started brightening teasers. There we go. Here we go. This dropped on scottgames.com, and this is when your boy started getting into teasers. This is when we started getting into teasers. Now, if you can see quite clearly, or maybe not quite clearly at this point, but we've got an image, a very skinny, tall image in the background, and we've got some sort of camera on the right-hand side, which we now know indicates that the puppet is out to get us. But we needed to brighten this image first. Does the video do it? The video does it right here. We've got Prize Corner, and we've got a brand new animatronic. This is when the internet started going crazy. The Five Nights at Freddy's community was really starting to pop off at this point because it was bringing new mechanics, new characters, new lore, new gameplay into the mix. And right here, we have got the puppet, who turned out to be one of the most important characters in the entire franchise, because we found out in this game alone, through the death mini games, that the puppet actually brought the kids back to life via putting their souls into the suits, which, when you think about it, is absolutely insane. But what a mechanic. We didn't realize how important the puppet was going to be at the point of this teaser being released. And we got to see a little a sneak peek at what the camera layout was going to be, which is really cool, which we knew from Five Nights at Freddy's 1 at this point, that it was going to be important again. And yeah, it turned out to be very important. You could beat Five Nights at Freddy's 1 without looking at the camera at all. No, you had to check Foxy, but it wasn't really checking Foxy. I think there might have been a tactic where you didn't have to check. I can't remember exactly. Anyway, you had to go into the cameras for the puppet because obviously you had to wind the music box. But the significance of this character when they were first revealed was just, it was not apparent at this point. We were just hyped that it wasn't just Foxy, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica anymore. It wasn't these new versions of them. There was more to this, and the puppet started that off, and it was absolutely fantastic. I think that was the last teaser. I don't think there was any more offline. That was at the end, because the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 trailer came out next, and then it went offline, and we didn't realize that that was it. Everybody thought Five Nights at Freddy's 2, that's it, no more. It was fun, but see you later, Scott. But no, here it is. I am still here. And at this point, we were going crazy once again. I think there was speculation of the purple guy coming back. This is where I am still here because all the animatronics. Oh, I'm trying to remember our whole thought process. This is like a whole historical thing. And if I get any of it wrong, please correct me down in the comment section below. I'm old at this point, but this was such a good teaser again because it hinted that there was more story, and this person who had done all these bad deeds was coming back. We couldn't quite tell what this animatronic was, but when we brightened it, it looked interesting, and we were all hyped because yet again a new animatronic was entering into the fray, and it was an actual person in there. That's what we thought at the time. And then yeah, when you brighten it up, you just get more. It's like a golden version. So I think a lot of people thought this might have been Golden Freddy at the time, just because of when you brighten it up, it is like a yellowy, greeny color. So you could think it was Golden Freddy. I still remember people trying to recreate this image by flipping it over, and there you go, 3, it came out. We got Five Nights at Freddy's 3 over here, and obviously you've got all the animatronics, so we assumed this was obviously in the timeline after Five Nights at Freddy's 2, because obviously you've got the likes of Balloon Boy's head there, and you've got the toy animatronics in pieces, you got Mangle's like parts there, and Toy Freddy's hat and everything like that. So they're all there, they're all ready to go. Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is after everything. You got the paper pals in there and everything. Oh, it was such a good time. I loved the old school traditional teasers that Scott used to drop. Were brilliant. They were a mastermind. I totally forgot that he was in the background. I totally forgot the spring trap was in the background. That's amazing. I can't remember the order of this. I think this might have come after the trailer, but again, I can't be too certain. He always does. Again, this is referred to the purple guy because it's in purple writing. Easy. Here we go. We got the sneak peek of the ventilations. No, this was the map, wasn't it? This was the map, and then you brightened it up, and then you got the ventilation system, which I think we guessed that correctly. This is when the theories were really popping off. Between Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and 4, that's when the teasers were the best. Here we go. Guess who? And it said 10 there. Scott was doing a countdown, and 10 was the start of it, obviously, and we saw the enragement child, the everybody's least favorite animatronic ever coming back was Balloon Boy, and to see him back as this withered, scary-looking, crazy person was insane. I can't remember if people were disappointed or more hyped when Balloon Boy didn't actually turn out to be a real animatronic. It was only Springtrap was the real animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. The rest were phantoms and hallucinations. But having a version of Balloon Boy giggling in the hallways looking like this would have been amazing. Would have been absolutely amazing. Scott being Scott at the time as well. I don't know if people remember as well. If you're new to the franchise, you wouldn't have known this, but Scott would set a date for a game. He'd be like, comes out on Halloween, and then he releases it like 6 months earlier because he's finished the game and he's just too hyped. I know definitely Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was meant to come out around about Halloween, and it dropped in like July or something. It was crazy. This was such a good time to be a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. It's all in your mind. So again, that teaser there is referring to the fact that these animatronics were phantoms or hallucinations, and it was because you weren't getting enough oxygen, and that was the part of the gameplay mechanic, and these animatronics would jump scare you. But how good a designs were they as well, apart from the fact that Chica looked like a watermelon. Oh, it was so good. And there we go, this was it. After Five Nights at Freddy's 3 finished, again, a lot of people thought that was the end, because spoiler alert if you haven't seen the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but Springtrap burns for the very first time in his life. Not the last, but definitely the first. He burns. That's it. Everybody thought it was over. It was a nice ending to the story. The bad guy was gone. Whew, fantastic. You also got the good ending, in which you went ahead and you had the happiest day minigame, and everybody was free. The kiddos' souls were set loose, and they could finally rest in peace, happily ever after. Thank you very much, Puppet, for sorting that all out. So when we got this next teaser, which was right at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we thought this was the end. It would have been hugely disappointing if it ended here. I know later on, after Five Nights at Freddy's 6, the Pizzeria Simulator, that was a great place to end the storyline. I'm glad it didn't end there, but it could have ended there, and I think a lot of people would have been quite happy. A lot of loose ends were tied up. If it ended after Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I think Scott still had a lot to tell, and I guess as we go on, we'll see that. So the hat was here, we were sad, Freddy's popped his hat on the floor, symbolizing, and then the hat disappeared. The hat's gone. Five Nights at Freddy's is over, big sad, and then all of a sudden, this popped up. This terrifying nightmare Freddy picks up the hat. He's holding it in his hands, and Scotty Boy's like, nah, this is the final chapter. And it even says the date down the bottom here, 31st of the 10th, 2015. And as you already know, we're currently in 2023, baby. That ain't the final chapter. That isn't even close to the final chapter anymore. But this was such a good teaser. Everybody lost it. This was like peak animatronic design. Apart from maybe the Glamrocks, this was peak animatronic design. It was absolutely terrifying. The nightmare animatronics were perfectly named. You got the little Freddles over here. Freddy had babbies, and those babbies were savage. There they are, just sitting there on him. Freddy's holding the top hat, and he's like, nah, baby, this isn't over. Yeah, I'm picking up my hat. This isn't over. And then we just moved on from there. I think Bonnie was the next one, then Chica, then Foxy. And it was just such a good time to be a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. Was it me? This is where it first started coming in, and a lot of the speculation. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 teaser images and trailers and speculation was the best time to be around, because they had big teeth. Everybody assumed when Bonnie was talking about, was it me, we were referring to the Bite of 87. Were we finally going to get the answer to who did the Bite of 87? Yes and no at the same time in this game, because obviously you've seen the Markiplier 1983, was that the Bite of 87 meme? So we kind of got it and we kind of didn't, but that's what all the speculation was leading to. These nightmare animatronics, which one of them actually did the bite? And that's what we thought we were going to find out in the game, and as I said, we kind of did. Next up was Chica as well. The designs were peak. I think Chica's was my favorite. The fact that you got a nightmare cupcake, and not only that, but you got a nightmare cupcake jump scare was amazing. See, the first time I got jump scared by the cupcake, I was scared, I was terrified, I was belittled, I felt like less of a person because I'd just been endgamed by a cupcake. It was weird. I was like, I don't have diabetes, this cupcake shouldn't be hurting me. But there we go. And the whole Chica as well, the whole 3 rows of teeth. The animatronics were terrifying, and then Chica's obviously saying, was it me? Was it me that did the bite of 87? All these culprits, and we still didn't actually find out in this game who did the bite of 87. There was Foxy, and we were robbed. We were absolutely robbed of that tongue. Foxy had the tongue removed in the actual game. I think a lot of fans might have done terrible things if that tongue was actually left in the game, but from a teaser point of view, that tongue was amazing because it just looks sinister, it looks evil, it looks pointed. And Foxy, was Foxy the best nightmare animatronic? He's a pirate. He's a pirate and a fox at the same time. It's amazing. Anyway, they were suggesting that Foxy, once again, Scott was suggesting, was it Foxy that did the bite of 87? Or me? I can't remember what the other teasers were for Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Maybe there wasn't anymore. And then we got the purple hat and bow tie. Was that after Five Nights at Freddy's 4 or before? I can't remember. But then it was Fredbear, right? Everybody alluded to Fredbear. Oh, that's right. That is right. It was to do with Fredbear, but this was actually was it Nightmare? Was this Nightmare or was it just Nightmare Fredbear? Because there was the 2 versions, wasn't there? There was the normal Fredbear, but in Nightmare version, then there was the actual Nightmare. It was called Nightmare. It was such a beautiful design. I think both of them might have been the peak ones there. Or me again. And look at the tum-tum. The tum-tum had teeth. The tummy had teeth. It was crazy. Such a good time to be a FNAF fan. Oh, there was so many more. I love going down memory lane here. Terrible things come in small packages, and then we lost it. We absolutely lost it because there was a mini spring trap. There was a baby spring trap over there sitting on a chair, and that was a very important. That was the mini game in between nights that if you succeeded in capturing Plush Trap in this little game, you would actually go ahead and get yourself 2 hours off of your time, which was very significant in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 because it was the scariest game by a mile. So cutting your time short by 2 hours was fantastic. But Plush Trap was one of the coolest designed animatronics. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was peak. For designs, I think Five Nights at Freddy's 4 really did peak. It was amazing. Such a good time to be a fan again. The end. Thanks for playing. Yeah, it was sad, but it was the final chapter. Everybody at that time thought, that's it. Thank you very much for a great game, Scott. We got some more lore to do with the bite. Everybody at the time thought that was the bite of 87. I think it wasn't until Sister Location that we learned it was actually technically the bite of 83. So that was very cool. That was very cool. This was also at the point where theories were going through the roof because there was so many mini games in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 that there was so many secrets, so many things to talk about, so many story holes left. And then Scott, out of nowhere, started dropping, he dropped a thank you image, here we go, and then individually, one by one, he started removing them. As you can see here, they're just disappearing, and changed them into these tiny, cute animatronics. And at this point, we were so confused until FNAF World came across, and we still had no idea what FNAF World was at this point, but the animatronics were cute. And this here was, we were doing a massive live stream. MatPat, Game Theory, invited myself, Smike, OG Smike over there, Dorko, Baz, and Ryan, 8-Bit Ryan, onto the live stream to do a theory live stream. I don't know if you've seen them with like FNAF and stuff like that. And this was one of the questions Scott put on his site at that point. In Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigame, why would tiny toy Chica be missing her beak? Which we all thought maybe that's because she did the bite of 87, and that's why her beak is broken. I don't think we ever found out the answer to this, which is the most confusing thing. I think there's another couple of questions that Scott put to us again as well. What is seen in the shadow is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child. 4 games, 1 story. The mind of a child, I think that was because he was trying to Was it to do with Dream Theory? But either way, Five Nights at Freddy's 4, I might be wrong. It's been a long time since I've looked into it and studied it, or whatever you want to refer to it as, but there was the whole idea that it was the crying child. You were playing as the crying child. You were in some sort of purgatory or something like that because you'd been bitten. Your skull had just been chomped like a Big Mac by Freddy. Well, Fred Bear, and yeah, I think that's what it was alluding to there. But we never finally got the answers. And the biggest thing was the box at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Nobody still knows what's inside it. But Five Nights at Freddy's World, very underrated game. If you can play it. Seriously, coming 2016, and he was right. It did. It came out like February 2016. This was a really cool design. It was teasing the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 update, and that was a Jacko Bonnie. Very cool designs. There was Nightmare Balloon Boy. If Balloon Boy wasn't annoying enough, let's give him a nightmare version. And it says hello in blood. Oh, it's amazing. I can't remember what this is. There's something behind him though. Oh, there you go. That was the teaser for Nightmarian over there. Oh, another great design. Come hang out. And that was the Halloween update for Five Nights at Freddy's 4, which is a very good design. And then you got Nightmare Mangle there as well. Another great design. See you soon with Jacko Chica. Again, there was so many really cool designs and updates that Scott did, and you cannot beat the era of Scott dropping teasers. They were absolutely amazing. It's one of the reasons teasers, and the reason we're going through this video and explaining the history and stuff. I think it's a fun thing to do, and it's nice to explain how the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise has evolved over time. But one of the reasons Scott was able to keep everybody's attention in a market that is saturated with games is, one, the storyline, two, the simplistic gameplay, and three, the hype he generated in between the games. There was no lull, there was no period for us to rest, there was always something new, something fresh, and that's what made this community special. It was the speculation, and I think we missed that slightly at the moment. Love Steel, love what they're doing, but I think there's too many periods of lull in between teasers and stuff. The Scope era is goated. Madness takes many forms. I think this was teasing the, was it the update for Five Nights at Freddy's World 2 or something? Update 2? Here we go. This is the very first book. Five Nights at Freddy's The Untold Story. This was the Silver Eyes before it was called the Silver Eyes, which ironically, Freddy's got red eyes here. But this was, everybody was hyped because this looks like a book. We weren't quite sure what this was for. Official title coming tomorrow. The Silver Eyes. There we go. Very cool, very hype, and a lot of people really enjoyed the book. I mean, it was, let's face it, that was the gateway into all the books you know nowadays. You know, the Tales of the Pizza Plex. The Silver Eye started all that. The book was such a success, and he enjoyed helping write it, that from there, they were able to create, like, the modern day Goosebumps series. There are so many books at this point. I'm going to be reading forever if I want to. It's amazing, and plus, it looks now the latest books are going to become canon. Now, what was that? Oh, this was for Sister Location, wasn't it? This was the start of the teaser for Sister Location. Another hype time because we had no idea what was coming. At this point, we were so used to the little games like FNAF World or Freddy in Space, and then all this started happening. We were like, what? What is going on? We were trying to work out that he just completed it. I think Scott was trying to tease what was actually going to happen by giving us not an anagram, but just giving us letters that we had to fill in the blanks. I don't think anybody got close to it, so Scott was like, here, just have the whole thing. Sister Location. There was never just one, and we obviously lost our minds at this point because we'd heard about Fredbear's Family Diner. We'd heard about the FNAF 1 location, the FNAF 2 location, and obviously the horror attraction created in FNAF 3. So when Scott dropped this Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, we all went crazy, especially because the animatronic in the background, big old eyelashes, we knew this was something we had not seen before. And then was it shortly after, did we have another teaser before? I think this teaser came before the trailer dropped, because when the trailer dropped, we all lost it completely, because obviously there was Ballora and everything in there, and Funtime Foxy and Funtime Freddy. But we had a look and we were like, who is this? Then here we go, we got Ennard dropping. There's a little of me in everybody, and then we got the Bibbidi Babs, is that what they were called? Don't hold it against me, which is something that Baby says, isn't it? Don't hold it against us? Is it? And then here we go. Get back on your stage now. We're obviously speculating about what happened here with the, Actually, no, let's go back real quick. We didn't really talk about... when we got Baby's design, obviously, that was fantastic. But Ennard was something completely different, because we could see immediately that this was just some sort of mangled amalgamation of wires that was once an endoskeleton, and we got a mask on top of it. And as we've learned, Ennard is very important. Ennard's technically still around as the Blob, or at least what became of him. Crazy how this character that suddenly appeared on Scott Games has become so important as well, just like the puppet as well. And two characters that lasted a while. The Biddy Babs, or whatever they were called, these were creepy. Look at them. They're just terrifying. I'm glad we've never really had to interact with them again. They kind of appear every so often. And then you got Baby hiding up in the top right-hand corner. This is what Scott did really well. I loved the fact that you would get a seemingly you get a nice picture. It would be fantastic, but then you brighten that bad boy up, and there you go. Baby's hiding up in the top right-hand corner, just playing peekaboo with you. He also used to do it. We've not really seen it, but in the source code for the website, he would also write teasers in there. I think that's where we learned about Springtrap's name and stuff like that as well, via the source code in the webpage, so you'd have to inspect element and stuff. Get back on your stage now. So we obviously, from this, started speculating that this was going to be some sort of gameplay mechanic. Obviously, we were right, and I think we assumed that it was something to do with power. I don't think anybody guessed that it was actually shocking the animatronics. We guessed the top one would be light and the bottom one was probably some sort of power, which were kind of technically right. And what we got here, oh, you got the little mini arenas over there in the background as well. I love going back and look at all this stuff. I love it. And this was some behind the scenes stuff of how Scott created like Freddy and Bonnie. I think this was for some sort of anniversary of the game dropping as well. And Scott went through and showed us how he's created the animatronics, which was nice. It meant absolutely nothing to me. I don't know how to program these or design these, but the people were going crazy, and they still use these pictures as reference. I see them popping up every so often. I think it was to prove Bonnie was blue most recently. Cancelled due to leaks. Yes, this was actually... Sister Location hadn't dropped at this point. Yeah, that's right, because the anniversary would have been in August, and that's why Scott released all those teaser images, and then this one here, cancelled due to leaks. I think there was rumor, I think this was in relation to rumors going around that somebody had hacked Scott. That's what had happened. I think that's what the rumors... I can't remember if Scott actually created those rumors himself, but yeah, this was cancelled due to leaks, and everybody was like, no! And then if you brightened it up, you actually discovered that it was actually a gas leak at the what was it? Baby's Party World or something like that. Or was it Chica's Party World or whatever it was? And that was the official... here we go. In other news, the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World has apparently been cancelled due to reported gas leaks in the building. And this, I think this was just a cover-up, because the people found out once again that William Afton was up to his nasty deeds, and the animatronics were actually created to capture children in their tummies. Then we got Ennard's mask right there. Did the mask disappear? No, that gave us a date, the 7th of October, but I think it dropped before that. As always. Here we go. We got a nice map here of what the place would look like. At this point, we didn't know it was going to be like a semi-free roam game, which was amazing. I like the way it shifted up. Obviously, you started the first night. You would always start the night by coming down the elevator, and then you would go into the control module on the first night. Did you go to... I think you went straight on, didn't you, to the Circus Gallery, then you went to the Ballora Gallery, then you went to the Fun Time. It was just another brilliant way of teasing what the map was going to look like, and again, we started speculating and seeing what would be coming next. That was the best thing. We could see so many things. Now we got the Ennard mask in nice color, again, teasing the date. The mask disappeared, which actually happens throughout the game. The mask is sitting there in the control auditorium, or whatever it was called, and then it disappeared, and it was because Ennard had taken it. Custom night. There we go. This custom night wasn't originally in it, was it? So you completed the game, you got the secret ending if you wanted to, in which you would actually take Ennard home with you if you beat it, instead of getting scooped. But then the custom night came out, and it was really difficult if I remember correctly. But that's the scene where you would get to see... Was that where you got to see Michael actually leaving and then Ennard escaping his body and then Michael coming back to life and telling his daddy that he was going to come after them? I think that's where that all came in for beating the hardest night there. I don't really remember Sister Location custom night. This was for the twisted ones. Suddenly, a Freddy image came out of nowhere, and he looked like he was bubbling and boiling. These were the twisted animatronics. Again, insane drawings. Look at Bonnie over here, and this was just a wolf. But I think it paved the way for Roxanne eventually. Again, just absolute fire artwork. That's another thing that... here we go. We got what was this? What was this for? I think we eventually discovered that this was Baby. But yeah, the fire animatronic designs is what has kept this game going for as long as it has as well, because the animatronic designs are just on point. They are peak. They are beautiful. I can't remember what these eyes were. Were they babies? Yeah, it was. It was what was she called? It wasn't Twisted Baby. What was her name again? I can't remember. I can't remember what Baby is. But she's rebuilt herself, basically. And when we got these images, we were losing our mind. We were like, Baby's back? But wasn't she part of Ennard? But it's because she got rejected by Ennard because she tried to take control and the rest of them got rid of her. Then we got Twisted Foxy, which is amazing. I think that Baby was actually first revealed in one of the logbooks or something that Scott released as well, which was absolutely amazing. I don't know what the static was for. I think it was like a page refresh. Again, we got some more behind the scenes images that Scott was showing us about the nightmare animatronics. This was probably for another anniversary. We got the little the little babies. We got the Freddles, and then we got Springtrap there. And I didn't realize Funtime Freddy was that flexible. Look at him go! And Baby's just taking her head off. Bless her. Look at her go. It's amazing. Then we got Exotic Butters, which was obviously at the time was a huge meme. I can't remember this fella's name, but he was weird. These guys weren't actually animatronics, but we speculated they might have been at the time when we got some of the teaser. I think it was the trailer we were looking at, and they were just sitting in the background in Circus Baby's gallery or whatever it was called. Was this? He's cute. That's a really cute Freddy. Is that a string? Was he actually held on by something? I can't remember this teaser. What was this teaser in relation to? Yeah, there's more strings there. What was this about? And then you got Freddy there. Isn't that... Yeah, this is the pizzeria simulator. This is the pizzeria sim, which we were confused by at this point. Scott didn't even announce he was making another game at this point. He just dropped this out of the blue, and we didn't realize how huge it was going to be. It was massive in the end. It was huge, and Five Nights at Freddy's 6 was potentially the point where the story really could have ended. And I think a lot of people it's their canon ending in 2 days. Yeah, Scott teased this like Freddy in Space, something that wasn't actually canon to the storyline. It was just going to be a pizzeria sim. You were playing as Freddy Fazbear. You were throwing pizza at kids. And then Scott sent some of us a copy, like Doko and Corey and Fusion and Ryan and myself. And we were playing it, and we were throwing pizzas at kids, and then all of a sudden, we were able to scrap animatronics. It was insane. It was amazing. It was like a pizzeria tycoon / Five Nights at Freddy's survival. It was amazing. Yeah, this was for Ultimate Custom Night? Is that what it was? Yeah, this was for Ultimate Custom Night. We obviously saw Custom Night, and then we got all the boxes, and we're like, well, this is going to be one big old Custom Night. We got the original animatronics all the way through to Sister Location, and then he started adding in new ones, along with crazy ones, and it just became insane. I think that they were then replaced by Halloween ones? No. I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but the fact that we got all these ultimate custom characters like Lefty and the Puppet and Phone Guy appearing as well, that was such a good game, but that was very difficult. In the end, one of the most challenging but rewarding games. Very cool, because the very top prize, the more difficult you made the game, the more points you would receive at the end of the night. And for the very highest score, I think you needed like almost perfect, you got a very important cutscene. Scott just kept adding new characters to this and really made it as difficult as possible. He didn't expect anybody to beat it, but then Dawko actually went ahead and destroyed it and got himself an interview with Scott for beating it as well, which was a great time. And here we go. We got the Ultimate Custom Night teaser office. You got various different offices, and this was brilliant because it got to bring all the Five Nights at Freddy's characters into the one like universe. You could have the Nightmares with the sister location. You could have the originals with new Happy Frogs and Mr. Hippos and stuff, and that's where we got all these extra bits of lore, because when you got end game by specific characters, they would have their own voice line. It was amazing, which sister location introduced, so we didn't really hear what a lot of the old animatronics sounded like. Dee Dee. There she is. She was brought in from FNAF World as well, because she was there and she would do like the fishing mini game with you. And then we got RXQ, and because he was Shadow Bonnie, and who else? Plush Trap. It was just such a good game and premise. It was amazing, and it wasn't everybody's favorite game, but it was great for a challenge, and it was good to see all these creatures. This wasn't so much a time for theory telling, but this was a time for just enjoying and celebrating the game and speculating. There wasn't a lot to do at this point in the game, but once the game came out, that's when we got to do some real speculating. Now, what comes after Ultimate Custom Night? Oh, yes, it was the VR world. Everything is working as intended. And there we go. We got Baby. This is when you were hiding in the closet from Baby. You got Springtrap. Look at him just standing at the door. These teaser images came out of nowhere. These were on, this is obviously when Steel Wool took over. So I think a lot of these were put on Steam and stuff like that. I think this was the end of the Scott Games era. I don't think he put any of these actually on his site. I think he has kind of just abandoned that now, unfortunately. But it just goes hand in hand with him taking like a semi-retirement, if not full retirement, and Steel Wool's taking over the franchise from now, and they're doing a fantastic job. Absolutely amazing. These teaser images are just showing what gameplay and stuff you could have. There was not so much speculation, unfortunately, anymore, which is what I think a lot of the fans miss. But this was just a time of showing really cool stuff. But then Steel Wool starts knocking it out of the park with the VHS tapes, combining two areas that have been really popular in the franchise: lore, VHS, and the old school cartoons, which is really, really cool. I mean, these gameplay shots are amazing, but it's just not the same as brightening a very pixelated image and trying to scan it for every secret we can. These are all very obvious, very on the nose, but we love Steel Wool regardless. Look at the size of the puppet. Hey, yo, my girl got... I'm not going to say anything because you're already jump scaring me. You look great, though. You look great. These are obviously teasing the fact that we can play in the various different games, and we're like in VR. You get to relive each one of the games like you are actually the Night Guard, which was hype in itself. Look at the design of Nightmare Fredbear. That's just a beautiful design. And Baby as well. She's an absolute monster, but when you think about it, she's got like a scooping mechanic, so she kind of has to be big. And then you got the Baby plushies, which were the most annoying minigame in the world for VR. This is just getting me... Do you know what this is? This is actually getting me hyped for Help Wanted VR 2. If we get Security Breach in there... I mean, Security Breach has got to be in there, right? It's got to be in there. It has to be. Imagine repairing Funtime Freddy and stuff. Funtime Freddy? What are they called? Glamrock Freddy. Fix them. Undo Gregory's stuff. And here we go. We got AR. Now, AR is still a sore point in the community because of the way the game was treated, but they had some of the firest promotional material known to man. Look how good these images look. The game could have been so much more than it actually was, which is such a shame, because look at this. You had the animatronics and they busted out the windows, and then you had Toy Chica hiding behind the thing, then you got Freddy Frostbear outside. These were really good teaser images, high quality, but they just let the game go. They just disappeared. I still remember the memes from people changing text behind Freddy that said "Be Mine," the Valentine stuff. There was some really, really cool images in FNAF AR, and it was such a good idea having an augmented reality Five Nights at Freddy's game and having the animatronics come to your home and you had to protect yourself from them. It was such a good idea that was just unfortunately wasted potential in the end. When you look at the character designs as well and the lore that was implied by a lot of this stuff, it's such a shame that it was just abandoned. Hopefully someday somebody else can take it on and give it new life. There's that Forsaken AR that the people in the community have created that I've heard is very good. And here we go. That's kind of the first hint of Roxanne Wolf. I think she was born from there. Here we go. We got Fetch, which again is a teaser for, I can't remember what book it is. It might just be Fetch. Is this Lonely Freddy? I can't remember all the book titles, but these are all very interesting, very creepy. This is when the era of the books took a very dark turn. I can't believe this. There's no way that this is a very old teaser, this one. This one was way back in... Actually, no, I think this might be in the right timeline, because obviously when the movie was first announced, way back in the day, it was just via... Scott sent us a news article that he'd spoken to somebody and said that I think it was Universal Studios were originally meant to be making it, and then Blumhouse took over. So yeah, this is actually probably right in the timeline. And here we go, we first got hints and glimpses that the animatronics were actually going to be real. They were going to be real animatronics and not CGI, which I'm so glad they went for, because if you've seen the recent trailers, you will understand what we've been talking about over time, that the real-life suits, the real-life animatronics look amazing. Not doing CGI is going to make this film really, really good and more believable, and that's what we're seeing here. The Jim Henson's Creature Studio were showing us in this teaser image that there were gonna be proper animatronics, and that's what we're getting here. That was a good teaser. 58, I'm not sure what 58's about. Really not. Okay, probably the worst idea he's ever had. It's like he doesn't even care anymore. Stopped caring after Dream Theory. Are we a joke to you? 5 years for the... What was this about? I genuinely don't know. Are they security? Yes, that's right. Security Breach did appear on his, on scottgames.com. I thought it was abandoned, but this is what's great about going over all this stuff. We get to see all this. In 2020 was when Security Breach was actually meant to drop. And here we go. We got the first rough images of, we knew that was Chica, and we knew that was Freddy. We knew that wasn't Bonnie, because I think we all guessed it was probably like a crocodile or an alligator there, just because of the tail and the head. It doesn't look like a bunny rabbit at all. There's no ears. And then on the right hand side, we assumed that this was some sort of like a girl version of Foxy, which we weren't far off with Roxy. And we knew this was in a mega pizzaplex or an arcade or something like that, and it was all going to be like Glamrock style, like very 80s rock and roll. You can get the neon vibes. These teasers were perfect. And obviously here we go, we learned that Monty was going to be some sort of alligator or crocodile, and these were brilliant because it gave us a brand new look into the Freddy Fazbear franchise. We went from pizzerias to like selling out malls, and then here we go, we got a girl. The fan base went crazy because there was a white woman here, and this image was amazing. We finally got to see a female night guard, because up to this point, I'm pretty sure we were just always male, weren't we? We were like Mike and stuff like that. And we got the words protect. So this woman was going to be in here and she was going to protect us. Wow, that changed. That changed massively. It really did. We were so excited when this dropped. And then Obey came in and we were like, finally, a different person. We obviously, from the shape of the body, we knew this was a woman, or we assumed it was. There was a female antagonist at this point. There was somebody else who was in the story that was being a bad person apart from William Afton. We finally have something else to speculate on, and this was a big moment in the franchise. This was huge, and it was so good to talk about this again. I don't think we knew her name at this point. But we had somebody who could have potentially been a copycat to William. It could have been William's daughter, potentially, and carrying on the family business, you know, the family hobby, grabbing some remnant. Or we had somebody that had somehow learned about William Afton and wanted to emulate him. Again, it just goes into the copycat era. But that's who we have here. Somebody new, somebody exciting, somebody to bring the franchise forward even more. I think that's why people were so disappointed with the way Vanny and Vanessa ended up in the game. Their storyline wasn't quite fully rounded out, and Burn Trap appeared out of nowhere, which were like, is that William Afton? Is it not William Afton? Why are you only in the game for 2 seconds and a secret ending? What's going on here? Security Breach Ruin is hopefully going to answer more of these questions. But this here, Obey, was amazing, because we were like, is William Afton still around? Is Glitch Trap making her obey him, or are we meant to obey the rabbit lady? Who knows? But at this point, here we go. We weren't sure what was going on. I still don't at this point with this teaser image, because you've got all the animatronics here. We finally got a good look at Roxy and Monty for the two new animatronics, and here we go. We got Glamrock Chica and Glamrock Freddy at the same time, and these designs were just peak. They were fire, they were beautiful, they were new, they were shiny. It was interesting, and that's why Ruin is going to be so good, because it's completely opposite. Gregory's trashed all these animatronics, and they look creepy, they look scary, they don't look friendly, and that's the horror we love in the game. Here we go, though. We had Vanny up in the background, looking obviously all evil, and we had Vanessa down here. I wonder if that was an early... No, that's not an early design of Vanny. That's pretty much how she looked in the game, and same with Vanessa right there as well. Again, at this point, we didn't realize they were the same person. And we got, I think this is just teaser images. Was this again for Dawko's live stream? I think we got various different images at this point of each of the animatronics. Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. We finally got a name for the place and what it would look like. This was good. We finally got some like images of what the place would look like. We got El Chips, a Mexican restaurant. We got the downstairs area where you get chased by Monty and the rest of the animatronics at the start. You got Fazer Quest. Seeing all these locations, we were really hyped. We finally got a Five Nights at Freddy's true free roam game, and we were going to get to see some of the sights and some of these rich environments. You say what you want about the gameplay and how long it took to be developed. Their environment was top notch. It was beautiful, it was vibrant, it was colorful. They packed as much into it to make it as believable as possible, and it was amazing to look at, visually stunning. And that's what's going to be great when we go back in and play Ruin, because we're going to be able to go down these same corridors, but they're going to be destroyed, they're going to be trashed, and it's not going to be the same. We had so much to talk about at this point, because we had the Glamrock beauty salon, we had the Fazer Quest, we had the arcade place, we had their green rooms. We had so much to discuss and analyze and go through. That we were eating again as fans. We hadn't eaten. We were starving for so long because of obviously the pandemic and stuff like that. And then when we started getting stuff, and here we go, we got Broken Chica down here showing off her feet and her broken beak. We got her getting crushed somewhere as well. We had no idea what was going on. These fellas popped up and we were like, what? Who are these guys? In your dreams and stuff like that, these nightmare staff bots who are controlled by Vanny. We didn't know that at the time. We got a really good look at Monty over here. I don't remember all of these. I remember this image though. I remember when DJ Music Man popped in for the first time. I think he was in one of the trailers and we all started going crazy. We didn't realize at the time there was going to be some sort of boss fight. Here again, we got another teaser image. I think this was probably for the PlayStation page, after one of the more recent trailers in which we learned about more mechanics. This was a really good image here of Vanessa standing in front of the parts and service. It was nice to talk about that, and just more environmental shots. This might have been for the RTX showcase to show the graphics off and what they've done. Steelwool have done an amazing job of really bringing the Pizzaplex to life. It was beautiful, visually absolutely stunning. It was great to play through and walk through and just experience. I cannot wait to go through it again with Ruin. Like, it was such a great thing. Look at these movie quality posters as well. Chica's face, man. These were all just so good and so well put together. Seeing it all back to back really makes you appreciate how far we have come as a fan base, as a franchise, as a Faz family. It's amazing. And to see how much future there is as well. We've got a movie, we've got Ruin coming, and then we've got obviously the Help Wanted 2 as well. This is when Steel Wool started doing the teasers on their site. This is when they took over the Scott role. Scott was no longer. This is when Scott just stopped dropping teasers now. I'm pretty sure. And Steel Wool started doing their Security Breach TV. I think that's what this site is. And this is when you could actually press the button and you get the YouTube videos for the Freddy and Friends VHS cartoons, which was really good. It was a really nice way of doing their own teasers, Scott style, but in their own way that the fan base liked. And this is what, if you paused these Fredbear and Friends cartoons in certain places, you would obviously get all the animatronics. Roxanne, as we know, has lost her eyes because Gregory's plucked them out. This is when all the animatronics are absolutely ruined. They are destroyed. This is a still from one of the events in... Well, this one's important, actually. One of the events, I think it's at the end, I think it's 2 a.m. Once Vanessa catches him, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, this, if you put it all together, is actually Glitch Trap's face. If you have a look very closely with all these stills, somebody put it all together and it made... So Glitch Trap is back in the game. So, is it actually Glitch Trap that's in Burn Trap? I don't know at this point. I don't know. Now, these were very important, these ones here. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, you've got just the Bonnie with the guitars and stuff like that, but this was very old school, how they might look back in the past. These are the ones that are very interesting, I think still might be relevant to another game they may do in the future, because they've talked about wanting to do Fredbear's Family Diner. So having these old school posters here with Freddy looking very golden brown color, not the bright gold color. This is Golden Freddy here, or Fredbear anyway, and there's Spring Bonnie. These are very like 60s, 70s style. I want them to do a Fredbear's Family Diner game. I really want them to do one. I think it would be amazing. Chica Chowder, that's where the meme goes about Chowder. And here we go, the Ruin DLC. This is when the hype started going crazy again, because we did not even expect a DLC for Ruin. We thought that was it and they'd move on to the next thing, but then they dropped a free DLC for 2023, which, as you know, it's next month, baby. We know it's coming out in July, and we got Gregory being captured. He's asking for help off this unknown girl with pigtails. You've got Chica there. Everything's been destroyed. This is the front foyer. The golden Glamrock Freddy statue is falling apart. Everything is destroyed, and this is when we got to start speculating again. This was beautiful. It was another hype time because we still had so many answers or questions that needed answered to do with Security Breach. There were so many things we wanted to talk about, and finally we might get answers. We wanted to know why we still do. We want to know why Gregory's gone back. Why is Gregory needing help? What did he go back to do? Was it to destroy Afton? Was it because he was actually caught in one of the other endings? Why is this girl coming to help? Why is Chica here? Is she gonna help us? Who knows? But we have so many things, and this is when we started getting hype again. We're like, Steelwool, you are going to create peak over here. It's dark, it's looking sinister. This is where we want to go next. We are excited, and I am excited. We've seen the trailers. We've seen where the game is going to go. We've seen what the game is looking like. We are ready for Ruin and the dark mysteries that are coming with it. We're going back to the old school horror side of things. Security Breach was bright and colorful. It was beautiful, vibrant, and great to look at. But we want the horror. We want the scares now. We want that same environment, but the neon lights are flashing instead and going off and on sporadically, so we can't see what's going on properly. We want the animatronics to come out of nowhere and scare us, which we see in the next teasers. The speculation continues even in 2023. It's amazing. We have gone from 2014 speculating about the Bonnie, the withered Bonnie and the brand new toy Bonnie, what's going on there, back all the way over to 2023, and we've got an image of the Monty cart that you ride around on, and it's in a new room, it's in a new location. Why is it here? Are we supposed to fix it? What are we supposed to do? Why is Steelwool showing us this image? Oh, it's come full circle and it's continuing. Steel Wool is still giving us teasers like Scott, which is amazing. They're doing it in their own way, their own style, but we are still getting to speculate, and that's what's amazing about the FNAF community. That's when the whole point of this video is to see how far we've come and how far we can still go. It's amazing. What we have here, and I speculated about it the other day when these teaser images dropped, I'm pretty certain this is going to be the most important teaser image. One, you've got Monty hiding under here. You're going to be running around, not paying attention. Monty is so dark. The environment's so dark. He's going to jump scare you out of nowhere, and it's going to be amazing. I think truly think the horror and the terrifyingness is going to be back to FNAF. This mini game arcade over here, I'm pretty certain this is going to be very important. As we know, with FNAF games, we learn a lot of lore, a lot of storyline. Even in Security Breach, we actually got the best ending by playing mini games. I think we're going to get the best ending, or at least the more lore, via doing more mini games. That's why they're showing us this arcade cabinet, and that's why this arcade cabinet looks new compared to everything else around it. We are going to get to play these games. Chica's eating trash. Again, I think what they're showing us here is not just the environment, it's the fact that Monty is hiding over in the corner. He's going to jump scare us out of nowhere. We're going to poop. We've got loads of, we got 3 different endoskeletons over here by the Lucky Stars gift shop. The gift shop is closed off and it's locked off via a panel in front of the middle animatronic endoskeleton over here. I think this place has got a secret inside that we obviously need to get inside and see. We've actually got a video speculating about that. Go and check it out on the channel. But the Fazbear industry obviously doesn't want us in there. This is one of the kitchen areas. I don't think it's too significant. We got a sad staff bot over here, obviously shut down. Do they come back online? Can we use them at all? Or is this just signifying the fact that we freed Vanessa from the glitch trap virus and she shut down all the animatronics because she doesn't want to use them anymore? Is that what Steel Wool's trying to tell us here? I don't know, but the fact that we're going to speculate is amazing. And here we've got the very final teaser image in the timeline of Five Nights at Freddy's. We have got the comeback soon. This is the main foyer, again showing us how ruined and abandoned this place now is. The pizza plex that was once bustling, full of life, bright, colorful and vibrant is now dark, dingy, and we're obviously going to play during the day. Very simple. This place was abandoned in a hurry because these very expensive pieces of equipment have just left. They've been abandoned. People had to leave here in a hurry. Why did they have to leave here in a hurry? We're going to be finding out very soon, and I cannot wait for Ruin. It's going to be so good. Are you excited? Are you excited for Ruin? Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was a look back through the entire history of one of the main reasons Five Nights at Freddy's was so unpopular and became the massive monster of lore that it was today, and that is the teaser images. Hopefully you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please go ahead and smash that like button. It really is appreciated. And hey, if you're looking for more Five Nights at Freddy's goodness, right about my face just now, there's going to be another couple of videos I know you will enjoy. Click on one of them bad boys, and I'll see you over there. I've been Razzbowski. You've been the beautiful Raspberries, as always, for watching, and I love each and every single one of you. Goodbye!